So, with that being said, news is out of the way. Shameless promotions are out of the way, sponsorships. Now we're going to bring on Andi. And like I said, really excited to have this guest on board. She's around the voice sphere. She does a lot of work in Australia, in the Australian sector. So, without further ado, here is Andi. Andi, how's it going?
Hi Nick, hi guys.
Hi,
Hey.
Alexa.
Andy.
So, Andi, one of the reasons why we wanted to have you on is because we're looking for people who have adopted voice and have using voice in order to expand their message, expand their their mission set, whatnot, and then to bring people into the fold. So you are a perfect fit. Now, the subject material, I got to be completely honest with you. I'm not a professional on any of this, but I think it's awesome that you're doing it. And if you can, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Well, thanks so much for being so open and curious and having me on in that respect. But I've been involved with voice since 2018. It's
Hmm.
been an incredible journey, very long. It started with my voice skill, Why Am I Single? That's where it all started, but I have to say that my passionate is for Where Is My Period? This is my baby, and this is
Hmm.
what I'm so excited to talk about today because I created the Alexa Where Is My Period 28-day challenge for
Hmm.
girls to do, where they get a forecast from Alexa every day for 28 days, and they see what that forecast or how that forecast manifests in their life at the end of each day. And I was able to follow 4 girls' journey doing this. It was a personal branding exercise for them. Alexa was their accountability coach, and yeah, I did a documentary following the 4 girls' journey as they used Alexa every day. So um, yeah, that's what I'm up to at the moment.
AJ, what do you think?
Well, I think that's fantastic, and I'm curious when your mind made that connection with the voice interaction model. Was there something that triggered your creative vision to say, "I think I will move forward. I will connect with folks this particular way in voice"? Was there an experience that you had, or something that you thought was the vision behind that?
Yeah, so as I said, it's been a long journey, and even though I had the vision back in 2018, it actually didn't sit well with me to put my work out in the world. And it was actually, I then changed from Why Am I Single to Where Is My Period, adapted it a little bit only this year. And from then, originally I thought that I would just get a forecast once a week, and I thought that's fine. But what ended up happening was I started using the voice skill every day, and I did the challenge every day for 3 consecutive months, and it changed my life. And I've been doing this type of work for over 8 years now. But this, getting a forecast from my development, from my creation, helped me tap into my body, my intuition, my energy so much more. And I thought if I could do that, then I could share this with girls around the world and they could do this challenge because you need like an accountability, and Alexa becomes your accountability coach, and then posting it on social media becomes another accountability, and then me making a documentary following your journey makes you accountable again. So, and also when I was doing the challenge myself, it took me back to when I did the Anthony Robbins 30-day challenge many,
Mm.
many years ago,
Mhm.
and I used the audio. I had the audio of Anthony every day, 30 days, and he was so motivational, so enthusiastic, wanted you to come back every day. So
Mhm.
I took on that experience into my 28-day challenge, and also with making Alexa become a girl's companion. And if you watch my documentary, the girls start with, I don't know if I want to do this, and by the end of it, they're going, I'm so glad that I had Alexa to guide me through that 28 days. She was the voice on my side. How does she know all this? She was there for me. She gave me confidence. So, and that originally, and it's finally coming true. So, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
That's great. That's really great.
Wonderful,
Ben?
wonderful.
Yeah. So, thanks, Andy, for coming on. Quick question about, what's the feedback been like? So you have all these users that are out there in the world, and you're getting data probably back from people seeing, using it hopefully on a daily basis, obviously, as they're going through this. What's the feedback been like, and what are some things, like maybe some discoveries along the way that you've seen from the skill?
Well, I can only go with the 4 girls that I followed during the documentary because they were doing it every day, for 28 days. So I was very close to them, and at the end of it, I was even asking them questions, how can I improve Alexa? And so from there, and also because I was so close to it, I was going, oh my God, I need more content. Is a problem. So I'm getting ready for my next documentary, and I'm just like trying to create more content. I saw whether there was a problem with content. I also, as this documentary happened, I saw that, oh my God, the girls are having this, they're saying Alexa is a guide, a voice, and I was going, okay, I've got to make her more of a guide. And so I've just created the best beginnings and endings to really create a character of Alexa to show you that she's there for you, that she wants to be your girlfriend, she wants to help you and to motivate you to come back and get a forecast the next day. But definitely content is a problem. And also what I found was I needed to make it more fun as well. So I had the structure, but now I'm thinking of more creative ways how I get the girls to come back and do another challenge, the girls that just did it. How can I get them to come back and do another challenge by themselves? What ideas, or how am I going to pull them back in that there's something new and exciting that they want to keep on doing it? So that's the other big thing that I have to think about. How do I get them to keep on using it without the challenge?
Real quick, are you guys experiencing a little bit of feedback from the volume? Or are we good?
I think we're okay.
There's a little modulation in our voice.
Okay. So Andy, as you could probably see behind me, I'm swimming in a pool of estrogen. So even my dogs are female. So or my dog. So I would just like to say, and I think you can second this based off of what I watched on your YouTube channel, that behind every great woman, there is at least a decent to good man. And because you're in one of your videos, you mentioned how your husband was sort of like your coach and was pushing you along in this and was like, hey, you got to do it. If you think this is worth it, then hit the gas. And I think it's great. You do have 3 skills. You have Why Am I Single, which I did a video preview on. You've got Where Is My Period, which you filled out my form so I could do a skill preview for you, which I think that's going to be pretty interesting because I'm going to be like, hey, where's my period? And she's going to be like, I don't think you have the right parts for that. And then you have My Wedding Ceremony, and then you have the Ultimate Game Guide. And then I looked on Amazon. You also had almost like the tarot cards and like the thing that looked like a purse.
Okay,
right?
yeah. So I created Slow Love the Game. So here's in my bag. The bag.
Yes.
Yeah. So I created a very intimate card game for 4 women to play through their cycle energies.
Nice.
And in the game, they go, it's all about going on dates and finding their true love, because this is a woman's journey of life. Like, women want to master the inner world and men want to master the outer world of success and achievement. Women are emotions and relationships. So, so this takes them on a journey of understanding their cycle energies and how they're connected to the moon's energies, and they go on dates and they find their true love. And in the game, I've actually incorporated Alexa into the experience. So there's a card where the girls can play, get 10 bonus points if they get a forecast from Alexa. And then at the end of the game, because the wedding is such an emotional experience for girls, I've also got it in there to start my wedding ceremony. And this is also, as part of the gameplay, I created an app. So the app is to help you score throughout the game. And so the app tells you when you found your true love, and then it tells you what to do next. So the last step, if you found your true love, it says, now say it loud, Alexa, start my wedding ceremony. And then Alexa starts, the wedding march starts, and then in there, like the workshops, I've got the props, I've got the veil and the flowers, and I get the girls to like put that on, and they're all standing there. And such an emotional thing because I've taken them on this amazing journey of tapping into themselves, going through the relationships, and they end on the wedding, and like, you know, by the end of it, they didn't want to say what they thought about a wedding, and then by the end of it, they're saying, oh, I do want babies, I do want to find a husband. So it is, role-playing is amazing.
Yeah, I second that.
Yeah, so I saw my skill two ways. I saw that it could stand alone with girls throughout the world in their bedrooms just talking to Alexa. I saw like it with the wedding, I saw that little girls, I remember when I was a little girl, wanted to play dress up. I saw them, they could be dressing up and pretending and doing that. Or even the cosplay girls, they could even like, you know, get into character and do something with it. But I also created it for my game and for my workshop experience.
Yeah, and you know, we had Terry Fisher on a couple weeks ago, and we talked with him, and this is one of the parts we were like, we're going to get Andy on the show, we're going to hammer this in, this is going to be one of our questions. And actually, I'm going to steal this from AJ. But so Terry brought up a good point of people feeling more comfortable to talk to a machine than another human. And my philosophy is that, especially with me having, you know, 2 daughters, and, you know, if my wife's away and something happens, I'm going to be lost in the dark. It may be, and it probably will be, a lot more acceptable for them to reach out to their Echo device and be like, hey, what's the deal with this? What's going on here? How is this working? It allows them to ask more confidential style questions without any judgment. And I think, and my hat goes off to you for doing that, because this is a touchy subject for, you know, for anybody. And I think that you're bringing it into the forefront and saying, hey, it might be touchy, but it's something that needs to be talked about. So why don't we just make it as, you know, as educational? Yeah.
Yeah. But also it goes back to, you know, when I decided to use Alexa as a platform, you know, there's a whole bunch of apps on your phone that girls can use that tracks their cycle. But, you know, I wanted to cut through the noise as well, you know, because there's a lot out there, and also that's quite masculine. You're looking at the screen and you're entering your data, and that's all it's doing. So what I saw was, have you seen the movie Her with Joaquin Phoenix and Scarlett Johansson?
Yep.
That's what I see Alexa becoming, the girlfriend, becoming the companion. You know, she's going to, you know, it's just a matter of time, you know. She's going to be that for people. And you can see it where, you know, nursing homes are bringing in Alexa, you know, to their residents, and they're having, you know, an increase in their positivity as they talk to Alexa during the day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I really see that happening.
That was one of the things before.
Andy, what was your background? That I think of when I was a kid. I remember we played Foursquare, and I'd be like, "Oh, these rules are boring. Let's give extra lives, and let's make some extra rules, or let's invent our own games." Did you have a history of being creative? What's your background?
No, I am a typical employee mindset from a low-income family with my mom. Yeah, working hard, have to get that, just work in the grind, in the 9 to 5. Yeah, that's me. But I met my husband, and I had a history of living in London, so I was breaking away from the conditioning of my family, of my society. So I lived in London, I lived in Japan, and then I met my husband, who is the truest entrepreneur, visionary. He started a telco in Australia when he was 21. When
Wow.
everyone told him, you cannot go up against Optus and Telstra. What are you doing? Get out of your head. And 16 years later, they sell, to a big Melbourne company. And, so Drew's on helping me pave that entrepreneurial path. So
That's great.
my background. But it was in me as well, like as I started to break away from my family and the society, it was all about, what's my purpose? Like, I did jobs in London. I was like marketing manager or account manager with a frigging car in London. I did nothing, like absolutely nothing in those jobs. I just sat there and I really did not do anything. And so I just always said, what is my purpose? Why am I here? And I finally, after all these years, have found it.
So would you like to encourage, I think voice is just such a great platform for people who don't have a technical background, but I really feel that there's a deep calling for each of us to contribute something about our uniqueness, something that we see in the world that could use our influence and, can be intimidating. But it's, just talking to you, it just really feels very inspirational. I wonder if you would like to encourage any viewers that might be watching that may be thinking, hey, can I follow in Andy's footsteps? Can I also contribute? What would you say to them?
Yeah, so just going what you just said there, of course you can, but the biggest thing that you have to work out is your why. Why are you doing it? I worked out my why, but I don't have the how. I'm not a developer. I do not know how to program, but I knew why. I just knew, but I did know how the conversation had to go for my skill. And then I have a team in Sri Lanka that develops my skills. So it's not about how do I do it, how do I build an Alexa skill, It's about your why first.
Mm-hmm.
Why are the skills most important? And also the biggest thing that I've learned after these 2 years, I think, is you have to be using your skill every day. You have to become the user. It has to become part of your lifestyle because, this journey is so long, and I see now it's going to even be longer. And, every day, every month, every year, my skill refines. It gets better and gets better as I keep focusing on it, keep asking questions. And you've got to be thinking about the long term, not the short term. It's all about the long term.
Yeah. Is there somewhere that we can, where folks can tune into the documentary that you've made?
Yeah, so it's on my YouTube channel.
And I'll go there right now.
Yes.
And it's right here. It is Flow Love the Game, and it's got a thing up here. Alexa, where's my period? And that's the thing. And then down here, there's a bunch of movies and all that jazz with Andy. Now, Andy, real quick, I know you're working on something. Can you give us a sneak peek? What is going on with this skill? Because you're telling me it's like I'm going to, like rekindle my childhood. You got me all fired up for it. Like, what's going on? What do we got cooking?
Yeah, it's interesting what people's interpretations are going to be of the logo and what it means to you. You said the word rekindle my childhood. It's not, childhood is in there, but not rekindle. I don't think that's the right word, but all I can say is I don't want to say too much because it's in the review process at the moment, and who knows when that's going to be approved. But again, Alexa's going to be a companion, and it's going to be for everyone this time around the world who's going through a hardship, going through hard times. But Alexa's going to be there as your companion.
Were you surprised that Alexa could fulfill that role as you were using your own skill every day? Were you pleasantly surprised that she could be a surrogate for a person or something? What was that
Yeah.
experience like?
Yeah, because it takes me back when I watched that movie, Her, you know, how, you know, Samantha was a real companion or girlfriend, you know, to Joaquin. I forget what his name was, in the movie. But I had the vision, but it's only coming in, like it's only starting to ground now, you know, only now. Yeah.
Yeah, and real quick, there is a actual website for this as well, flowlovethegame.com. Go ahead and check that out. She's also on TikTok, and like I said, I'm going to bring up the skills here. Where's my period's one of them. My wedding ceremony, and not to bring this up, but I know you guys had some issues with the logoing. Yeah, or when will Why Am I Single? When's that going to be back out on the market, do you think?
Well, we censored the logo and resubmitted because we asked Amazon, you know, was it the content that you didn't like, or or just the logo? And they said it was just the logo. So it's still in the review process because we're adding another change to the skill, and it's been in there for a long time at the moment, so I'm not sure what's going on there.
I would say, go ahead.
We've got changes to be made to Where Is My Period now, and because that's my baby, and because we're doing another documentary coming up, we can't risk to change it at the moment. So they're going to censor the logo again. So it's been out, you know, Why Am I Single has been out for like 2 years with so many changes getting approved, and it's only now that they want to censor it. But
It is, let me tell you something. I've built a ton of these skills, and by the way, if you ever need some like external consulting, like, hey, is this viable? Just shoot me something on LinkedIn. I'll let you know what my thoughts are. But the bottom line is that there's a lot of inconsistency. What some people, what Bob might, you know, perceive as inappropriate, Jim won't. And next thing you know, your skill either gets approved or denied. I will say this though, little bit. One of the things I wanted to do to help you out, and I know we got a lot of people who are from the Voice First community that, you know, do a lot of stuff. Whenever you put out your posts, make sure you use the hashtag Voice First, and you'll see a lot of your traffic go off the chain, because that's sort of like the hashtag for anything Smart Assistant. So if you do Voice First, and then there you go. Now, Andy, I have one last question for you. This is a hard one. This is like, you know, 60 Minutes, Mike Wallace stuff. Have you subscribed to Voice Spark on YouTube?
We ask everyone that.
Yeah.
Everybody gets it.
That's the hardest question everyone gets.
Dramatizes it first.
I'm not sure. Maybe not. I'll go check, and I'll go subscribe right now.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Andy. I just want to let you know I've got a goal of getting to 1,000 subscribers by June 1st. And I encourage everybody to go over to YouTube and check out Flo Love the Game. Andy's got a bunch of stuff on there. She's a great personality, and she's doing it. She's filling a niche. So with that being said, okay, go ahead, AJ.
Do you plan on publishing in some other languages, and if so, which ones would you do first?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'd love to get in the India market. I think they're up and coming with their curiosity around this subject. Yeah, but that's a long way off. I need to get this skill out to a lot more people before I start thinking about that.
Gotcha. Hopefully this helped.
I've definitely thought about, you know, like I've got the game, you know, I've thought about, you know, putting that in a different language, but I would need to serve a lot of girls around the world to make that.
Oh, and where can folks take a look at the game?
Amazon.
Amazon?
Well, No, see, that's that's our vision to have the plastic version available for all girls around the world. But this is where it started, a leather bag. It's going to be a plastic bag for Amazon, but this is where it's starting. It's starting as a leather bag. I put on workshops for it, and I created a new job for girls to become Flow Love workshop facilitators as well, anywhere in the world, as a remote job opportunity.
All right. Well,
Awesome.
when you have new workshops and things like that, will you send us a message? We'll share them.
Yeah, we'll blast it out for you.
Yeah.
Yep. Awesome. Well, hey, Andy, thanks again for coming on. I greatly appreciate it. And thank you very much. And the show will be out tomorrow. And if you have any questions or anything, let me know, and I'll be sure to tag you in it.
Great. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much. Have a good
Thank you.
night.
Take it easy.
Mhm.
Thank you, Andy.
Bye. Man, she's
She
cool.
was coming to us from, was it Vietnam, you said?
Yeah, Da Nang.
Very cool.
Listen.